What's good, man? It's OG Drip, man. This channel where we talk about the spiritual truth and how to utilize energy on a day-to-day basis, man. And today, man, it's finna get deep, man. So check this out, man. As y'all can see, I set my little office up and stuff. I like having this behind me, especially when it's finna come down to like a breakdown of what I'm finna explain. So instead of being having to draw it out and stuff like that, it'll just help people be able to see exactly what I'm saying like a lot clearer, right? So when it get down to these things, y'all, that how the world is built, you know what I'm saying, how we all see the world, you know what I'm saying, you can look at it like this, bomb. All individuals of each month being, you know what I'm saying, seeing how the sun landed in each month, being that each person is brought with a different personality. So now the sun can represent your personality and how you perceive actions in life, right? But it also go represent, you know, the way that we see light, the way that we have light. It's the light that we have that never run out, right? The light that never stop burning, right? So it's a lot of different texts and a lot of different things in spirituality where it's trying to break down in Bibles and other spiritual books where they try to break down things of trying to help us be able to understand it, but they always have to point to stuff to be able to show us what's going on. But at the end of the day, when you understand those things, you can see how the world is being drawn, right? So like in the Bible, for instance, right, when it say things like God said, if you know of astrology and if you looking at it when it says God said and it's talking about an experience or it's talking about a trial or a tribulation that we're about to go through, or however, even if it's good, you can also see it through the text. So what goes on in this world is right here, right? Is where someone has took a blueprint and had us basically fill out the pieces for them, right? So a lot of people don't understand. So much people have individual power, especially when you have like a scientist that knows certain medicines or a doctor that knows certain surgeries and things like that how to perform. It's not like everybody can just jump off the porch and go do it. You know what I mean? It just to show you, even on that type of level, that's like a mass level, right? Of even on a small level of you just going to put on a uniform and making sure the job proceedings get done throughout the day. So at the end of the day, we always working together. It's just the way that we're working together is not something that we all want to put together, right? So it's like we got a hammer and we got all this stuff and it's like we building somebody else's world. So at the end of the day, it's not like how the world is, how you see it. If you think it's a game, bro, you could go back and think about this. Anytime you had dreams and stuff, what stopped you from getting to your dreams? And if you did get to your dreams, what trials and tribulations you had to go through, right? And at the end of the day, it's going to show you that some of these trials and tribulations, majority of them didn't even come from something that you had actual control of. It's something that you had to fight against. Not only did you have to find out who you was, but you also had someone hiding God because they knew, hey, if I hide who you are, you would never really figure out what's actually going on. So at the end of the day, I can speak these ways because I know what God got planned. You know what I'm saying? So it's like how they perceive themselves to be psychics and make everybody else just look like that they don't know what's going on. And really, at the end of the day, they won't be actual psychics because at the end of the day, they just going by like I said, like they'll be like what God said, but it's just a astrology term for saying what's going on in the heavens. So when we looking at things like this, it shows us how that they make a whole terminology, a whole language and things for them to be able to only understand. And if anybody come out and they try to take it any type of way of what's actually there, it's going to be always contradictions. It's going to be always these type of battles, right? So when we get down to it, you can just look at it as in saying a lot of these different named gods is different cycles, right? Because you can look at Poseidon, Neptune, like they'll change the name on them, Aries, then they'll come back, like, you know what I'm saying? They'll just, and that'll be Mars. So they'll have like a newer god or a newer terminology just from calling Mars this, or they have a new terminology from calling the sun or whatever the planet is. And it's not talking about the actual planet, right? Because when we talk about these planets, we got to remember, this is just talking about energy. But the way that these people track energy, at the end of the day, because space don't move, we're the ones that's actually moving. So when they're keeping a track on it, they know what, okay, once we spin around and get back into this time of the year, this is what's finna happen. This is what we finna want to take action towards. This is the way we finna want to be seen. So at the end of the day, it's like coming up with a self-conference, right? Of saying, hey, what do you guys want? And we'll build a world off of what you guys want. So the world could be built off of y'all backs. But literally, the world be built off of our backs, but not the world that we intended to live in, right? So now, like, even when it come down to times with, like, what we just went through, right, with Christmas, with everybody stressing, especially parents. I hope you is a parent and you could get into astrology because then you'll learn a lot of different things. Learn how to deal with your kids. Learn that it may be you. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes a lot of things is, especially when you can learn lessons about yourself, man. It's very beautiful. You know what I'm saying? You might not want to accept it at first, and that's another thing. It's people in this world where we just got to know that they not gonna be trying to accept nothing. Where they don't want to take God duties and responsibilities. Where they may notice things and it's just like it's just too much for them. They'll really just be on autopilot mode. They'll really just go along with the hurdle. You know what I'm saying? And that's why a lot of people like that get called sheep. But they don't understand it because they're not fighting for their mind. They're not trying to find themselves, right? And a lot of terminology, even like with Indians and stuff, and I say that all the time, they say go find yourself or whatever, like throughout the movies, and people think they actually got to go through woods and stuff like that, and you risking your life or death. And it's like crazy because at the end of the day, when we talk about what life actually is, this is the thing that be making the beauty pop out. This is the thing how you be seeing a part of the world, right? Especially when we say if everybody on a clean lens, right? Where you don't have all this toxic stuff and all these things that's making you all these lusts and all these desires and all these feelings, emotions for things and attachments. Say if you had a clear lens, right? If everyone was on the same level, no one in controlling them and making them act out, right? Because at the end of the day, when it comes down to your dreams, this is controlled by a planet called Neptune, right? But at the end of the day, Saturn, right, is your stability. This is the way that your securities, insecurities, however you want to look at it as well. But this is the type of stuff that it be played with, right? Where, yeah, you got dreams of having this, but sometimes your dreams be just like off, right? Or sometimes you'll have thoughts of having something. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's different signs for different individual parts that's about to happen, right? And sometimes we play out these parts too deep. Sometimes we don't play these parts out enough, so we miss the opportunity to jump into this energy. So when you learning about it, it just teach you about what to do. So bump, whether you see it from like, I'm gonna say it, bump whether you see it like, oh, I don't want to be a nerd or whatever, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people look at it and they just, oh yeah, I don't want to be attached to it. And then a lot of people get into it and they wear it like a clothing, right? Where that's the thing. When you start wearing astrology like a clothing, that's making it a religion again. So you got to understand of like where the astrology just drawing the line to. Astrology didn't make God. You know what I'm saying? It all shows down to we just used or they just made and created astrology just to make the points a lot more simpler and a lot more a lot more in the same level of understanding because we're in the same world. So a lot of times a lot of people don't understand where that even come from. So when you start looking at the energies and things, just like when they get down to certain astrologers, bro, they're not gonna break down why is this energy even there. They're just gonna tell you this your energy and this is what you need to do with it. They're gonna tell you why this your energy, not necessarily telling you what two planets being exalted, what planet being debilitated, what planet being what am I finna say? Debilitated, exalted, what planet fall. You know what I'm saying? What like when it started to break down those type of things, it started to help you understand why is that energy in the first place. So then now you are able to understand why is why is astrology affected to spirituality, because I done seen some things where people get crossed over and they'll be looking at astrology and they'll be going against the grain but feel like they're going with it, right? Or they think they're going with it because of the way that they're playing it out. Instead of them getting hit by the energy and understanding why that hey, you're getting hit by it due to your situations. Some other people might not understand what you're going through. So when you got like real astrologers breaking down the points of hey, this is why your life rough. This is why you proceed like this. You get what I'm saying? It helps you understand who you are more. And that's all it is. You can't get mad at the astrologer. This is the time that you chose to come in his life. So you can't get mad at nobody but yourself. But a lot of people, like I said, don't want to take those responsibilities and accountabilities. So when it comes down to us being able to spread our wings and be able to actually make a world for what we want to see it for, you know what I'm saying? It takes for us to be able to realize how much work we're actually putting in to even create the world that's in front of us. So it'd be like we'd be too busy building on a lot of things that ain't got nothing to do with us, right? To like the fact of even to a mental degree where people is focused so hard on building a building and stuff where they don't understand how to build a good concept of their mind to how to let things come in and let things go and let things, recycle back through. So it keep like a current, a closed flow. And sometimes people be too fixed on something, or sometimes people be too shifty with something, too mutable. So at the end of the day, it be like at the end of the day, you got to know how to use these energies. So what that does is just showing you what's going on above you. So then you also have, inner things that's going on. So it's just trying to show you how the world is coming from the in to the out. So at the end of the day, we able to see how to make it work for us to be able to have a clearer mind is to be able to have a, your body going to be in a better position. You know what I'm saying? Like some people can't. It's like diseases and all just based off the mental, where you might can't eat and you might go through certain things, and that's just to show you how powerful the mind is. So at the end of the day, when we taking these helmets and all this type of stuff here, instead of us constructing a world, it's supposed to be us actually constructing our minds. So we too busy doing work for other people. That's what I mean. So I don't mean that like, oh, you shouldn't go to work or nothing like that to pay your bills. Nah. But what I'm saying is at the end of the day, you still got to take time to yourself. And then at the end of the day, at least take out a day to give God. You get what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, that's what it's going to take for you to get to yourself, for you to get to a clean mind. Because one thing about it, like, you got to be showing some type of faith, some type of what I'm trying to say, some type of thing like, yo, I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? Some type of inspiration. And the thing about it is, how we get inspired in this world is they try to inspire you with desires. So it's like anything they can always hold against you. So it might be a place that you might not even, it might not even be something you necessarily want. It might be a way you want to be seen. It might be a way that you want life to proceed. But it's like, nah, we're not going to allow that. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, this is to show us that we actually constructing on a world and building a world that's not ours, right? And we go more and more deeper into it by giving it more power, giving it more access. The things that people coming up with, the games and all that, bro. People come up with apps all the time of how to do something, of this and that there. But at the end of the day, it don't make no sense when we get these type of things, get this type of power. Even back in the days when you had barbershops and other little low business areas that was trying to come up, and then you had people like messing with it, right? To then at the end of the day, you like, what happened to, us like having that thing where they have to come to us to know what's going on. They sell out. So what the thing is a lot of people don't realize it be for money, right? Where they'll sell out for something, and these people they don't care about the money. They don't care how much ever you want. They're willing to give it to you because at the end of the day, they're trying to do it for a power situation where they're trying to control why you doing something in the first place and how you got to get it done and what you got to get it to go through to get it done, right? Where now you can't just grab some clippers and go into a barbershop, where now you have to have these certain license, and these certain license cause for you to have a certain background, right? So when it comes down to this life, bro, I like to break it down because now you see, if I'm talking about all of these things you have to have just to be able, aka to be stable, these things you have to have, right? Then you go down and looking at like, yo, wait, my dreams and stuff. If you mess up one of these things and stuff like that, you're risking shattering your dreams. So it's like it's always energy against you. It's never nothing to really help you. So that's why I say it's like more of destruction. So when we say the God of destruction, this is what these people is like in love with that. So when it comes down to you trying to build a mind for yourself, nah, they want to destroy it. When you try to build a business for yourself, nah, they want to destroy it. They want to take over it. They want to edit it. They want to modify it. So even if you come up with different ways of seeing something and junk like that, they want to take what you got and try to change it over. You get what I'm saying? Because they know at the end of the day, the more we able to keep things in line, keep things screened up, just like the religions, all of them got certain gods that they represent, and it's just another planet or another energy from this source, and the way that they looking at it, they're just trying to draw out the point of what the energy proceeding to do. But these people looking at it the wrong way and thinking it's an actual drawing, thinking it's an actual description of what it is. You know what I'm saying? So then they go to turning God into something or God into a place, and then it start getting back down to that type of thing. And it's funny because they teach you about things like nouns in school, right? And then they have you come back with a person, place, a thing. And it's funny because they teach you about this stuff. They teach you about everything except that you ain't none of this stuff and that you a spirit, right? So it's like they teach you everything around it because they'll teach you more of how to be a human, aka how to come back to this earth better. You know what I'm saying? How to become a better slave. So at the end of the day, you don't get no rights. You got to give up your power. Nope. You got to give it up. So anytime someone is trying to take a lead and having stuff grow for themselves, you always have them swoop in. But man, anyways, man, I'm finna get to it. These kids in the back, I be trying to get these things done, but now, with that darn weather out there, I done set my little office a little better and stuff. So I ain't got to be in the darn car all the time trying to get these videos done. And another thing is, bro, at the end of the day, it's a lot different, right? I'm a father, bro. I got a lot of little kids, right? And I'm always trying to get to them. And I have little things where how this world moving right now is more on this technology terms. So it's like when they get down to them being hands-on, hey, see what I'm saying? When they get down to them being hands-on or knowing how to be have social status, have social what's the names, they don't even know understand that, right? So hold on real quick. So anyways, man, when you going through that, man, see what I'm talking about, chat. This is what I've been going through every day, man. Y'all, I just be trying to get back to y'all, trying to talk to y'all, you know what I'm saying? And just try to show love to the soul group, but I always got to deal with these goddamn kids, boy. These kids nowadays can't do nothing on their own, man. Y'all know what I'm saying? Bless these kids. Let's help them have a different type of way so they can use their out of alien thinking and help us throughout the world. All right, man, I'm out. OG Drip.